I had a bunch of things I wanted to talk about tonight, but I figured since it was Memorial Day, I should probably say something about that. And briefly, of course, Memorial Day originally was known as Decoration Day. 3 years after the Civil War was concluded, a group of war widows and veterans on the Union side decided they would make a holiday to observe those who gave their lives in the war. And over time it went through changes and now has become kind of a general veterans memorial holiday. And I, for one, am deeply saddened by the loss of life in any kind of armed conflict, but I am happy that there were people who were willing to fight to stop a corrupt system of enslaving human beings. So I'm grateful to the Union war dead and those who had to continue afterward. And I feel like it's important for me personally. I don't feel like there's a very strong dividing line between the human liberation taught by the historical Buddha and all Buddhist teachers after him, and the understanding that a more just and a more free society can be worked for in this life. Oh my. I hope they're driving safely from now on, whoever that is. That being said, I was recently asked to lead a memorial service for my dear wife's uncle. And so I was looking over some material that I've collected over the years. And if you will allow me, this is just doesn't really have a strong kind of architecture, but it was just a couple of thoughts I wanted to bring to your attention. It's generally understood in Buddhist tradition, and certainly in the general scientific consensus, that no life is separate from any other life. We are all, even to say it like this is silly, we are deeply embedded in this web of all life. It's patently obvious. Even to say we are in this web of life, almost like we're a separate thing in it. But that's how we think, right? That's how we kind of habitually think. I'm over here and I'm like this, and the line of my skin demarcates who and where and what I am. But of course, our very own cells are full of mitochondria, which, you may or may not know this, actually did not originate in humans. And our whole gut biome is full of bacteria that are not ours. They are living their own lives completely removed from us. Our skin is covered in various bacteria that actually are very helpful and keep us safe from pathogens. So we are, even just the act of breathing, even eating to survive and then excreting, we are absolutely non-different from this world that we live in and all the creatures therein. And even thinking about our ancestors, those beloved dead who even here, even now, are with us. This quote from Thich, Nhat, Hanh who also has recently passed, of course. He said, "If you look deeply into the palm of your hand, you will see your parents and all generations of your ancestors. All of them are alive in this moment in you. Each is present now in your body. You are the continuation of each of these blessed people." You are this continuation of their energy and of all the lives, seen and unseen, that allowed them to live and contribute to you. And of course, this isn't always happy. I don't know anybody that doesn't have some kind of, if they're being honest, doesn't have some kind of critique of a relative or had some painful emotional or physical experience with someone they were close to or someone in their family line. But even just being present to the reality of our interpenetration with our ancestors and with all life goes a long way towards dissolving this arbitrary and artificial sense of self that we often carry to our detriment. On this subject, the Buddha said, "From an unfathomable beginning comes the transmigration of beings throughout all life. A beginning point is not to be found. A being who has not been your mother at one time in the past would be impossible to find." This is a brilliant piece of the Buddhist project that becomes really finely developed in the later Mahayana and Vajrayana teachings, where teachers will tell their students, understand that all beings have been your mother, your father, your brother, sister, friend, loved one, partner, etc. And even just from a scientific standpoint, there's no biologically or scientifically coherent way to differentiate any of my cells, even think about how silly that is to say, my cells, from any other cell of any other creature in this whole world. None of us popped into existence. We didn't fly in on a plane. We all arise like a wave in the ocean. This is no strange land. This is home. And this is a powerful way to cultivate kindness and compassion for all beings and yourself. This is hopefully a helpful way to consider the positive power of ancestry. And remember, maybe this doesn't go without saying, maybe it does, but family is not necessarily who you are, quote, blood related to, or whose name you share. With the understanding that all beings are interrelated intimately, comes a certain leveling of the playing field. I don't know if you've ever been told this while getting yelled at by a parent or a family member, well, I'm your ... Insert family relationship, I'm your dad, so you have to do what I say, or I'm your mom, or, this kind of thing. And I'm guilty of that, telling my own sons when they were at each other's throats at various times over things like turns on an Xbox, or, how many pieces of candy they got from the piñata. Hey, that's your brother. You can have friends or whatever, but that is your brother. You will never have a closer blood relationship than that. So I'm guilty of that kind of thing. Understanding, of course, that all beings are brothers, sisters, siblings, family relations. So, but I offer you this way of looking at helpful spiritual ancestors, which in a lot of ways is maybe even closer than blood relation. I invite you to contemplate the ancestry of this Buddhist tradition, meaning the entire history of this 2,600-year game of telephone. Beginning with Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha, born in Nepal, enlightened in Bodh Gaya, who set the wheel of Dharma turning, teaching for 46 years before himself passing away. Remember those who came before the Shakyamuni Buddha and passed their wisdom to him, remembering the Buddha's mother and father and his adopted mother, Mahapajapati, the first Buddhist nun. Remembering the monastic and lay disciples of the Buddha, which if you count in years is only 80 generations ago. Sounds closer than 2,600 years in some way. Spread the teachings of the Buddha throughout the East and the world, one relationship at a time. We remember awakened beings of all spiritual traditions all over the world. There's nothing Buddhist about wisdom. There's nothing Buddhist about kindness or compassion. If you've never read the writings of Meister Eckhart or Rumi, Hafez, there's a whole world of beings who had spent their lives contemplating wisdom and kindness. They're available to you. Transmitting their wisdom throughout time and space, we understand that wisdom and compassion appears in the world in countless forms, countless times, according to the needs of sentient beings. I invite you to call to mind the wisdom of the indigenous, marginalized, and oppressed groups, the original peoples of this land, much of which has already been lost. I invite you to look with kindness upon our biological ancestors, parents, grandparents, known and unknown, generations of beings stretching back throughout time to the first humans. Remembering the ancestors of our chosen families who, though not related by blood, have supported and loved us. I invite you to look with kindness upon the ancestors of our own mind stream, the parents and loved ones and friends who held us in our countless previous lives, and even the different people you have been in your life. On this Memorial Day, can you feel back with kindness into the you that you were 5 days ago, 5 years ago? You as a teenager, as a child, as an infant. Can you look with kindness and compassion upon your life? Mistakes you may have made, victories you may have won, defeats, wounds in your heart, joys in your life. We carry the legacies of all of these ancestors, their gifts and their burdens. How wonderful to have the opportunity to work with, look at, and benefit from all that has been handed down to us. I invite you to think of our great ancestor, the earth, and her great ancestor, the entire universe. This is also your family. The great teacher Ehe Dogen, founder of the Soto Zen tradition, has this to say: May the merit and virtue of the Buddhas and ancestors fill us and refresh us as they share with us their compassion. The ancient Buddhas and ancestors were as we are. we shall come to be Buddhas and ancestors for those after us. Remembering and venerating Buddhas and ancestors, we become one with Buddhas and ancestors, even just for a moment. Contemplating the awakening mind, we are one with this awakening mind. What was in past lives not yet complete, we will complete. In this life, this body, coming from countless accumulated lives, we are now as they were, we will be as they are. For the next sit, we'll do, I kind of talk about it, but maybe I should point it out explicitly. All right then. This is a thing that took me a long time to really get at, and I've just been really working on this for some years now. Just the awareness before I decide to do a certain meditation technique. Just from the moment you sit before I think, oh, I'll follow my breath, or oh, I'll count my breath, or I'll mentally recite this mantra, or recite this prayer. That open awareness. It's such a valuable thing to not skip over that piece in pursuit of, our actual meditation technique, but just to notice how it is to be you right now. So, I'm going to ring the bell, and I'll give it a minute or two, and then I'll start offering prompts for, ways of looking at the breath or following the breath. But that little piece before I open my mouth again is probably maybe the most valuable. And one teacher said, and it really made an impression on me, all wholesome developments on the path of practice begin with and have as their foundation an open and spacious acceptance of whatever is right now. And this is clear in all the teachings. And there's so many different names for this and ways teachers have expressed it. And it might even, still to this day, I've been practicing a long time, poorly of course, but practicing a long time, and still to this day it's a little hard to get my head around. And I sit and I don't even notice that I'm doing it, but on some level, gross or subtle, I'm waiting for some experience, some relaxation, some calm, some deep settledness that I've felt before, some blissful awakeness that I've felt before. And by doing that, I'm actually cutting myself off from what is arising right now. So I invite you to, before anything else, after I ring that bell, I invite you to just meet whatever is arising with this open, tender, kind, reverent, however you want to say it, embrace. Okay. I offer you these 3 simple orientations, sitting like there is nowhere else to go. Like there is nothing else to do. Like there is no one else to be. Beginning by just noticing how it is to be you right now. Perhaps sweeping your attention throughout your body. Perhaps from the top of your head, down, neck and shoulders, arms and hands. And noticing the sensations that you find there. All the way down, legs, ankles, feet. And gently sweeping back up. And it occurs to me how amazing it is, the almost infinite variety of sensation even within the same body. Perhaps you can feel a lot of warmth and energy in your hands, a lot of pressure and sensation in your feet and the ground. Maybe you have a part of your body that has some soreness or stiffness. In me, my right knee throbs slightly with some discomfort. Or let's say an intensification of sensation. And I meet the sensations arising in my body with this openness, this willingness to meet it and experience it. And then after kind of journeying through the body of sensation, I invite you to take a few breaths and see if you can feel the whole body with each in-breath and each out-breath. Perhaps imagining the breath and the attention sweeping through your body with each inhalation and each exhalation. I invite you to allow your attention to either stay where it is, sweeping the body, or if you like, you can start to kind of gently gather on the breath as your primary object, on the sensations of each breath as it flows in and flows out. Now, if you notice, if you are practicing with making the breath your primary object, and you notice the mind getting a little jumpy or skittish or distractible, that's fine. And that itself can be an object. Anything that arises within your field of experience can be the object of your meditation. But alternately, perhaps you can experiment with letting your focus get a little bit bigger again. Sometimes the mind is like a skittish, energetic little colt or puppy. And if you try to pin it down too hard, it'll try to shake it off. So I invite you to be the expert in your own practice. Experiment with seeing where the mind is most stable. Anywhere from a small focal point, like the breath at the nose, to the breath through the whole body, to the body and all of its sensations, or even to an expanded conception of the body and the room and the sounds around you. But whatever you do, this beautiful, precious breath flowing in and flowing out offers itself to you as an anchor. And I'll be quiet, and I'll ring the bell. I invite you to know and practice with your precious breath for a couple moments. And as always, in this, our practice, as in our whole lives, no specific feeling, sensation, experience, or situation is our final refuge. Rather, the knowing is the refuge. Not peace, not calm, not bliss, not relaxation, nor joy, sorrow, pain, suffering. In the final analysis, the Buddha is simply this experience exactly as it arises. The one who meets this experience with openness, intimacy, which allows us to have a wide open circle of practice, including car alarms, pains in our knee, worries in our heart, the circle of your awareness has no edge or center. Your awareness is vast, luminous, lucid, and infinite. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke says in one poem, keep going, feel everything, all the beauty, all the terror, no feeling is final. If there were any brief questions, comments, challenges, I invite them. Shares. We have a couple minutes before loving kindness practice. Dave has his actual physical hand up.
Well, your instruction's always lovely. You use the phrase meeting the moment as it is, or allowing an embrace with things as they are. Would you speak to the status or the situation of an agent that's looking at how things are, that sense of potential separation, to go to the moment, to have an embrace?
I'll try, sir. As always, Dave, you are striking the heart of the matter. As you probably know, it's turtles all the way down. It's metaphors all the way down. So even nirvana is a metaphor. We get direct quotes from the Buddha saying things like, well, do you know when you're mad? Great. Do you know when you're not mad? It's like that, which in the end is just a metaphor. And of course, the person that is seeing the thing is making the thing. The first line of the Dhammapada, of course, being all experience is made of mind. Mind is their forerunner. Mind is their chief. But the kind of genius of the gradual teachings of the Theravada is this kind of sneaky, well, let's get as close as we can and fabricate as little as we can. If you've sat with me, you've probably heard me say this. This is one of my favorite words in the whole world, fabricate, which means both lie and make something. It's amazing the way language is constantly pointing out the secret truth, right? So the more we fabricate our experience, like I'm going to have a very peaceful, relaxed experience because I'm a super good meditator now. Boy, talk about instantly cutting myself off from ever having any kind of actual experience of openness, of calm. So the genius of trying to meet our experience free of any fabrication or artificial colors or flavors, with the understanding that we're just going to get as close as we can, as close as we can, as close as we can. And then at some point, there's some kind of intuitive leap. Because even the mind that is fabricating, the fabrication and the experience as it is are made of the same stuff anyway. So it's like rice cakes all the way down. Like, Dogen Zenji says, it's all painted rice cakes. So there's nothing special about the breath. There's nothing special about sitting. There's nothing special about meditating. In a way, it's kind of a con job. The guy behind me was kind of like the world's most brilliant con artist. Oh, the breath is very special and sitting is very special and you should do this and watch what happens. It's just trying to get us to a point where we stop making it up and meet whatever is arising and allow us to get this super intimate with awareness. That's my take on your question, sir. Thank you. Anybody from the room? If not, that's fine. Okay. So, at the top, I was talking about how I'm going to deliver or MC and offer a service for my darling wife's uncle who recently passed. And in the face of the terrible and beautiful, Joseph Campbell talks about things that are beyond beauty. He talks about the sublime. This is like in the face of the sublime absoluteness of death. What can you really say? So in the end, we're going to drive out to Arizona, and what I could do is just stand in front of the people there to memorialize my wife's uncle and just say, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you. And we'll all be there. And that would probably be enough. But the power of a memorial service is, in some sense, just the meeting of our own pain with kindness and compassion. And that's so powerful. So this is it's like a superpower the Buddha wanted his students to practice in. The ability to meet our whole lives with kindness and compassion. Kindness, wish for good fortune, wish for health, wish for happiness, wholesome, noble, and wonderful. And directs us into wholesome ways. Understanding the pain that is inherent in all life, compassion. So holding these two things together is a superpower. It allows us to meet our entire life and death, sickness and old age in this spacious, all-encompassing way. So, right now, exactly as you are, I invite you to kind of feel inward. And close your eyes if you like. This isn't some kind of, formal meditation, but just by way of kind of introspecting. What would it feel like to hold yourself in that dual, that double unified stream of kindness and compassion? The wholesome wish for happiness and the meeting of your suffering with kindness, with compassion rather. And one of the crucial pieces of this kindness and compassion that is again, the beating heart of this practice is that it is without critique, judgment, condition. So, I invite you to just breathe into that space or that orientation. With each breath, in this gentle, intuitive way, what would it feel like to hold yourself within your own heart in the warm embrace of kindness and compassion? Not glossing over the wounds that we carry in our hearts, things that we wish we would have done or not done, but not turning away, meeting our feelings with this true availability that we call compassion. If it helps, I invite you to place your hand upon your own heart. Or perhaps imagine this warm energy filling your body, surrounding you in its embrace. This energy, this light made of kindness and compassion. And even meeting the resistance to this. Perhaps there's some resistance to this understanding or this idea or this feeling. That's fine. Can you hold the resistance in kindness and compassion? I invite you to bring to mind kindnesses that have been done for you, people who extended themselves to you. I invite you to bring to mind kindnesses that you have done others, times and ways in which you have extended yourself in kindness to another, and that beautiful, wholesome feeling in your heart. It is also for you. In the warm embrace of this kindness and compassion, I invite you to repeat these simple phrases after me. May I be happy and safe from harm. May I be happy and safe from harm. May I be healthy in body and in mind. May I be healthy in body and in mind. May I be peaceful and free of suffering. May I be peaceful and free of suffering. I invite you to understand that all beings are just like this. All beings desire happiness. All beings that live taste joy and suffering. All beings are heirs to their thoughts, words, and deeds. Kind and cruel, rich and poor, powerful, powerless, wicked and good, wise and foolish, living and dead. All beings within the three arbitrary categories of friends, enemies, and strangers. Of course, truly speaking, there are no strangers here. From this place of radical solidarity with all that draw breath, I invite you to extend this warm, encompassing kindness and compassion. Repeat these simple phrases. May all beings be happy and safe from harm. May all beings be happy and safe from harm. May all beings be healthy in body and in mind. May all beings be healthy in body and in mind. May all beings be peaceful and free of suffering. May all beings be peaceful and free of suffering. as the Buddha taught his students. Let one who is skilled in the way of goodness and who desires to walk their days in peace think thus. In gladness and in safety may all beings be happy at heart, whatever beings there may be, without exception or omission, great or small, near or far, seen or unseen, born or yet to be born, may all beings everywhere be happy. As a mother cherishes and protects her only child, so should one cherish and protect this attitude of a boundless heart, full of loving kindness for all beings. This is the sublime abiding here and now. My prayer for you, may you be happy, may you be safe and healthy, may you live in peace and ease. On behalf of myself, my teachers, and Long Beach Meditation, please accept my most sincere and humble bow to you. May our practice tonight and every day of our lives be for the benefit and happiness of all beings who have been our mothers, fathers, friends, and loved ones throughout countless lives. This Monday night class is complete. May all beings be happy. Thank you everyone on Zoom for your kind attention. Thank you everyone in the room. Thank you everybody very, very much. I appreciate your coming. Have a great week. Take care of yourselves and be safe.